Just 5 years ago, in 2013, an ad seeking direct service professionals, or DSP, might have looked something like this. For the right person, this ad would be irresistible, and getting paid a healthy 67% over minimum wage just made the job that much more attractive. Fast forward to 2019, and it's the same job, but with a startling twist. 2019 pay for a DSP is expected to be just 4% over minimum wage. The pay advantage was intended to encourage workers to join this demanding field. The advantage is all but gone. As the city government steadily increases the minimum wage to reach the level of the living wage, a paradox is unfolding. And that paradox is at the core of a crisis that threatens the well-being of Washington's most vulnerable citizens.
The job that we do is very important, especially for those who doesn't have family. All of them does not have moms and dads and cousins and people that can support them. So it's important that us DSPs step in.
So the DSP, although it may not be looked at as a very important job, they're the heartbeat of any agency.
There are more than 2,100 adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities who receive services from DSPs in Washington. There are many more who could also benefit from these services. These DC citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities need help making meals, taking medicine, shopping for essentials, traveling on public transportation, connecting to the community, and solving the problems that arise in daily life. It's everything from tying shoes to maintaining employment. That's the role of the disability service professional. DSP pay is set and funded by the Department on Disability Services and the Department of Healthcare Finance. Here's the problem. 5 years ago, when DSPs made $5.15 per hour more than the minimum wage, the wage made the job far more attractive than those easier jobs that paid minimum wage. But that DSP wage advantage has dropped rapidly over the last 5 years and is approaching zero. In 2019, the living wage that DSPs are paid is expected to be just 57 cents more than the minimum wage. And as the pay gap has narrowed, the pool of interested candidates has shrunk. By 2020, that pay gap is expected to be zero. There will be no financial incentive to work in this field. At the same time, the need for direct support workers will rise steadily, not only for the disability community, but also for our aging population. The job of DSP is demanding. It's a calling for people who love to help, who patiently teach, who care for people whose lives they make better in a dozen ways every day.
I get a joy out of what I do, but of course, I have to pay the bills just like the next person.
We don't get paid enough for all the work that we do, and we don't complain because we passionate about it. We love what we do. We care for the people that we support, and so we don't want to turn over and just leave them and them being supported by someone who maybe won't treat them how we treated them.
It breaks my heart to see good people leave because of the money. It's people, they work in 2-3 jobs. This job, working at the group home might not just be enough, so you go to another job, they offer you more money. You don't want to leave the individuals. You don't want to walk away from it, but you have no choice.
The narrowing pay gap is a prescription for trouble, but the DC Coalition of Disability Service Providers has 3 easy-to-understand ideas to fix it. First, increase funding to boost the wages of DSPs to 125% of the living wage. That strategy would match the DSP pay formula that was implemented in Maryland 5 years ago. And it's hard to believe, but because of the way funding support is structured, there are no opportunities for raises or advancement for DSPs. The coalition recommends changing that. And the job is so important, yet not many people know about it. It's in the district's interest to promote the job of DSP and to attract committed people to this rewarding, essential field. A U.S. government report called the need to recruit DSPs a crisis. The pipeline for people entering the direct support profession is not keeping pace with the number of DSPs needed by Americans with ID and their families, it said.
And there are many things that the government can do, especially for DSP, to make sure that they feel supported in their role.
When the government raises pay wages and provide that support for the DSP, they're also providing the support for the participants and people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in this field as well. Because when you support us, it gives us more strength and more oomph, as you would say, more power and more determination to do the best we can to support the people.
Taking steps to boost pay, recognize excellence, and promote the field of direct service professionals is not only the right thing to do for the people in the city who most need the support of the district's leadership, it's the right thing to do for those dedicated workers who help make dreams come true for our most vulnerable citizens.